Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Ultimate General American Revolution. This game just entered early access 2 days ago. This is episode number 2 of our first look at this very early access game, and we are playing as the Americans, because that's the side you can play as right now in early access. Now you can see here, this is a strategic map of sort of New England right now. We are playing, as I already said, as the Americans. The ultimate objective is to take Boston and kick the British out and win the war or whatever. But the enemy has a lot of troops, and the early version of this game is very unforgiving. There was a patch that was released yesterday, which I believe nerfs them somewhat and kind of makes the difficulty levels you choose matter a bit more than they did previously. But in any event, we're finding ourselves in a battle near Providence. The British have brought considerable resources against us. In our last episode, we assaulted Providence and Newport, took them from the British, won a couple of small victories there in our goal to isolate Boston. But while we were taking Newport, the British marched in about 1,700 troops toward Providence. We raced north to guard the capital of Rhode Island. But now we're outnumbered by about 500 men, not quite 50% outnumbered. But it's close. I did the math. The total troops engaged here for the British are 1,700. That's funny. 1,775 British soldiers in these 5 regiments arrayed against us. We have 4 regiments. They have 2 with artillery, so they have 2 batteries of artillery. And then some of these regiments are large. They've like 2 of these regiments have 5 companies each. You know, that accounts for 1, 2, 3 of our regiments just like that, almost, in terms of those 2 regiments, at least in terms of their company strength. But yeah, we're going to fight this battle. I don't think it's going to go well. We'll see. The British are much better soldiers than us at this point, and that makes sense because we're largely militia troops. You can see we've got 2, I guess, regiment type units. These guys look like they're a little bit better drilled. And then you've got 2, I don't know. I think they're less good. I don't know how to describe it. Some of our units do have enough experience that we should go ahead and award them traits. We're going to go with discipline training for all of them, I think. Although efficiency might actually be a better thing to have. Let's see, willpower and efficiency. What does willpower do again? I don't remember. Willpower increases general's command radius and morale. So willpower is morale. Endurance is speed. I don't know what the rest of these are. But anyway, so yeah, let's go ahead and assign some of these guys perks. We'll go with discipline training. Hang in there, boys, until you get overrun. Some of these units actually have more than 1 trait. They can go down the 2nd tier of perks, which we're going to do, I guess we'll do marksmanship. That increases accuracy. So discipline for the 1st tier, marksmanship for the 2nd is kind of where I'm at. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump in and fight this battle. I don't think it's going to go well, but we'll see what it looks like here. This is being developed by Game Lab. Oh shit, they're on our flank. This is being developed by Game Labs, developers behind Ultimate General Civil War and Gettysburg. I will say a couple of you in the chat were like, you're in the comments for the previous video were kind of like, man, it's disappointing because they're going to abandon it. I don't understand what you guys are talking about. I don't think they've abandoned, frankly, any games as far as I'm aware. With the exception of kind of maybe Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts is kind of shaping out that way, but they're still working on it. They've still got a roadmap, so... Great, so they are actually kind of behind me already. I suppose we can turn some of these flank regiments here to refuse our line. They will have to advance against open ground, but you can see here they've got some units that are... Can I not issue orders when things are paused? Or do I not command these units? I'm not entirely sure. Do I only command these boys? Okay, now one of the other things to keep in mind is the AI tends to get very chargy. They like to melee, which I guess given their discipline, that's something you might want to do, but They've got like a pretty considerable discipline advantage. One thing that folks have really suggested in the Discord thread is like rely on countercharging very heavily. But let's go ahead and get started. You can see here a big chunk of their forces out front of us. We've got a little bit of a wood line. And then they've got some troops on our flank who are going to bring a decent amount of forces to bear against them. Where are these guys going? Are they retreating? I'm confused. Why are these boys retreating? Have they already been ordered to, like, because I can't win if these guys are just going to retreat off the map. I don't know what's going on here. I didn't issue orders for them to retreat. Also, it would seem the kills and deaths are related to what they've done over their entire unit history and not... All right, so let's do this. Looks like the units have stopped retreating. There's a farmhouse over here I think we're theoretically supposed to take. I don't want to let you guys just get obliterated, so let's retreat. Why the enemy wants to melee me there. Gonna try and countercharge this one battalion that got stuck out front. Okay, we're gonna try and fall back gradually toward the wood line. But I'm hoping the 2-to-1 here is an advantage, and then we can just retreat before the enemy gets more of their forces in close to us. Oh, my boys are routing? Okay. All right, we're doing this slowly. All right, they're routing. Now you're going to fall back out of here. I wish there's no retreat button. I don't know if fallback is different than retreat, but you guys need to get out of there before you're wiped out. Okay. All right, let's do this. There's nowhere to fall back to that's really good defensive ground, it doesn't seem. So they're going to get meleeed to death. What are you guys doing? It feels like a lot of these units are responding maybe deliberately outside my command. Like I don't really get a good sense that I've got a good amount of control over some of these units, which I suppose would be realistic. They're not presumably regulars, but I want to get them into this wood line here. It could also just be because they're engaged with the enemy. And you can't fall back easily when you're already in contact. But like, you guys need to get out of there. I don't want you to melee. I want you to retreat. This is one of my better regiments or companies, and you're about to die. And these guys are, it looks like these guys are charging into melee this other battalion or company or whatever. So we're trying to pull back. I don't like that the casualty counter seems to restart each battle. Or not restart, to maintain each battle. All right, I think this company here may have saved this other group because they were willing to get themselves they charged into the rear of the enemy. But we're going to try and get into this wood line. Okay. Enemy's definitely stronger than us, and we've had at least 1 to 2 units that have been shot to pieces, much worse than anything they've suffered. Although we have inflicted some losses on them. There is going to be a sort of post-battle summary screen that will be worked on eventually and shared, but at the moment that is not. All right, so that one regiment shattered. They have cover here? Some. Okay. But at least the enemy should be completely in the open, I would think. Gonna try and form up a double line, so if they do melee me, I can countercharge. That is what I was advised to do in the Discord when I asked, like, what the heck are you supposed to do? The answer was basically countercharge. We don't have any ammo wagons, which would make a extended battle here more difficult. But yeah, the ranged abilities of these militia much inferior to that of the British. Now, some of their British manpower is tied up in artillery, which I think is further back in the rear. We haven't really seen them use it a whole lot. Also, exhaustion does play a factor in melee effectiveness, so keep that in mind as well. We see these enemy come close. If they charge forward with these 3 companies, we may be able to rout them. We outnumber them heavily. In fact, I'm going to charge. There you go. One of them is already destroyed. All right, we destroyed 2 of their companies. I see some artillery coming in. Gonna try and overwhelm this company here. Maybe doing some friendly fire damage here. All right, so we're driving back at least one of their companies. So we destroyed 2 companies and drove back 1 more. The enemy took the objective over here on the left, but has not pressed there yet. Bringing up bigger companies at this point. Get out of there, boys. Fall back. There needs to be a retreat button, because this is just fall back. Move backwards while protecting their flank and rear. Like, I do like that moving through your own lines can be challenging. You could see, like, as we were trying to charge through our lines, it was not a simple matter. there doesn't appear to be a battle timer on the campaign battles, which is nice. I know that's been a complaint from some folks, probably rightly so, about the historical battles that they've got timers. I understand why you might have a timer in certain scenarios and certain battles, but in a lot of battles, it's kind of irrelevant, right? Like, it's more about supply, manpower, those kind of things. But I think falling back to this tree line and sort of hitting them as they come up piecemeal is actually, I won't say we're going to win, but it's at least giving us a better chance than what I've seen in my previous battles. Nice. That's awesome. Did you guys see the color bearer fall? They dropped their flag. Does someone else come back and pick it up? So far, not. But that's cool. The idea of, like, the guy who, there's actually a guy carrying the flag. It would appear that you target based on the enemy's, this little icon here, not the physical troops on the ground there, it looks like. Okay, so I've got 200 men coming at my flank. I do like that they're maneuvering to try and get around it. Considerable force stacking up on my left, but that's where my strongest units are. My right is much weaker. Looks like we drove back 2 more companies here, or at least temporarily. We do hear the occasional rumble of enemy artillery, but I think we're far enough back on the map. They haven't moved it forward to a devastating position yet. There's one shell, or not shell, probably round shot coming in. All right, let's move these boys down here so if they charge me, I can countercharge. So I'll bring 2 companies in to reinforce the right flank, which if the enemy hits me here, oh god, they've got 300 troops and I've got 150 on that flank. Oh, they've got another company over there too. Well, that flank may be in trouble. But hopefully this cover here is doing work for us. Now we are using a considerable amount of ammo here on the on this company's duel with the British in front of them. I don't want you to charge, I just want you to shoot at them. So please do that, because I don't, the 104 versus 59, those aren't odds that I'm happy with, but if we can add 79 to them, then we get more muskets on the line. Meanwhile, they came up real close here on our far right flank. It looks like those 2 companies of about 160 men were enough to dissuade at least the initial group of 100 men that came forward. Where are you going? Fall back. Why are you charging forward? That's not what you're ordered to do. Hold your position. See if you can extend that flank. Okay. Got like 50 men in reserve. This is not a pretty situation right now. They're going to charge. We're going to countercharge. We will at least outnumber them with our 3 companies coming in here. But again, they've got 200 more men here. Oh, yes. You're going to charge there, and I'm going to outnumber you almost 3-1. I'll take that. This lead enemy company should be doomed. All right, so we drove back their first charge here on the right flank. shooting this company apart as it withdraws. Man, you inflict a lot of casualties on enemy troops as they retreat. As you should. That's realistic. I don't want you to charge. I just want you to shoot. Because we are oh god, there's more. I thought it was just the 3 companies. They've got more. Oh boy. Alright, we drove back the first company to charge there on the left. We might drive back the second, but I doubt we will drive back a third. Get back into cover, boys. Try and retreat back into cover. These ratios are not in my favor. All right, we are holding this tree line. We've driven back 2 enemy companies, but there are at least 3 more coming. They are charging kind of piecemeal, which does work to our advantage, but it lets us sort of move these boys in a way that gives me hope, at least of not, well, I don't know about hope, but it gives me more of a chance. But again, they've got 200 more men back here. And we're running low on ammo. The clock moves very slowly, so it's still 1400 and something hours. So another enemy company driven back. Use these 60 boys to go try and fire into the flank of that advance. The right flank is slowly melting. I mean, they've got 300, 400 men here. I've got 150. Like, that's not sustainable. Maybe these boys can fire into the flank, but the firepower is just so ineffective. Again, everybody's using smoothbores, so I don't know if maybe we should try and just exit the battle and then withdraw from Plymouth. Like, maybe it doesn't feel like we have any chance here. We could end the battle. I think we might hold on the left. They've got about 200 more men here and then a couple of broken companies. But the right flank is where we are just hopeless. And I don't want to get my force totally destroyed. So it may make more sense to just withdraw as best we can to fight another day. So I don't know how pursuit works, but we're going to go ahead and try and leave this battle. The lack of a post-battle screen is really... I don't know if disappointing is the right word, because they're working on it. But it is sort of immersion, not immersion breaking, but it's, I don't know. It's difficult to sort of figure out. All right, so we had about 1,200 men going in, so it looks like we lost about 50% of our force. The enemy had 1775. That's an easy number to remember. What do they have left? 60, 219, 514, 266, and 133. So the enemy lost about they had 1775. They have 1,192 left. So they lost just less than 600. We lost about 600. So that was not the exchange I was looking for. I can try and pull these 400 troops forward, and that'll get us to almost even numbers. Could pull them out of Leicester, but I don't think they'll arrive in time. So what we're going to do is we're going to have all these guys leave the garrison. Form them all up into an army. And then we're gonna withdraw back to Newport. Maybe that'll buy us some time. Maybe the enemy will stick in province and they won't try and advance. It's a gamble. Because we're still in contact with the enemy while we try and pull back. So there's sort of a simulated, I guess, a bit of a rear guard action. But yeah, this is not going well. Come on, boys, get out of there. The British are getting another 1,000 reinforcements. Looks like one of our regiments retreated. Can we get this other one to Leicester? Is there any way to get them there directly? Yeah, it looks like a large percentage of those troops who did withdraw out of the garrison. No, they surrendered, bastards. They captured one of our regiments on its way out. We do have a ship here, so in theory we might be able to pull them out by sea. But all 600 of the casualties that we inflicted are being replaced by 1,000 new enemy troops that are arriving. Providence was captured by us. Newport was captured by us. Providence was lost. I need those 400 troops to come join me. Now these boys here in Newport can draw reinforcements. It wants me to take Providence in 15 days and I'll get extra prestige. But guys, don't you understand? We can't do that. It's literally not possible. But we are going to draw some reinforcements here. These troops who are marching south from Leicester, they are taking a few casualties. Interesting if I could just engage a small portion of their force, like if they would send 500 troops out against my 400, if I could fight that battle. But it looks like they're trying to bring their whole force to bear. They do have a garrison here at Providence, so they stripped about 400 men out. They could try and flank and go right to Hartford, which is sort of, I think right now, the most important base on the map. But all right, so we got another free garrison at Leicester, I think. Or maybe that was just the garrison that I withdrew. All right, so we got 800 men. Looks like as we were able to link up with the main body, the British are thinking better of it. Oh, Hartford raised the 450. That's nice, actually. All right, come to Newport, boys. Give me those reinforcements, and maybe we can strike out at Middleborough before those 1,000 new troops that arrived at Boston come south. Looks like the British also did send some of their troops north to deal with Portsmouth, which has a small garrison of 150 men. There's currently a battle ongoing there. But once these 450 men arrive at Newport, we could strike north. All right, so did we just succeed with the research project headquarters? 4 more days on that. But you can see here the objectives were being given. I don't know if it's like Congress who's giving us the objective, but you can see 34 days to construct a recruitment house, which you can't do because I don't have the tech yet. Capture Providence, we got 13 days to do that. And then research the engineering department, which should be done in the next 4 days, so that should be done. Again, battle of 1,700 troops versus 150 garrison troops near Portsmouth. Looks like the enemy did leave a garrison at Providence of about 1,500 men. That should be more than enough to deal with us, at least until our troops in Newport reinforce. By which time I'm sure the British will get more reinforcements and they will be stronger. But you can see Newport is up to 1,300 troops now, so it's almost even. Meanwhile, we got another 450 Pennsylvanians arriving at Hartford. It would seem that Hartford is the location that all the new units are arriving at. So, but they got another. How do they always match our reinforcements? Every time. We got 450 more men. They got 500 more men. I guess they're probably reinforcing the regiments that we shot to pieces in that previous battle. We're also reinforcing for what it's worth. We're up to 1,600. Portsmouth is still holding out. I don't know if this is like a supply convoy. I don't really understand the naval side of things. We do have one ship here. It has 12 guns. All right, so reinforcements are up to 1,800 men. They've got 2,100, but when our 450 boys under Grieve arrive, we will have 2,200 or 2,300 troops. Yes. Do we do it? Do we strike out against Providence? We outnumber them by 200 boys. I think we do. I would wait for reinforcements so all these units could get back up to full strength, but honestly, it seems like the enemy reinforces too quickly anyway, so... Is there a way to multi-select? Just on the map. I want to form these guys into brigades. So let's move Butcher out of there. Because you can merge regiments into a brigade. But yeah, let's move these boys up here. Try and engage the enemy troops near Providence on more favorable terms. So you can see we're moving forward here. It would seem the battle is in our favor. What did I just do? At least numbers wise. I'm going to jump in and fight this battle. I don't trust the AI to fight the British. Not unless you're overwhelming the enemy in numbers. Not that I'm terribly good at fighting the British either. But... okay. This is a more favorable setup. In fact, we've even got 3 regiments on the flank of some of their starting forces. I wonder if it would be better if units weren't like already in contact with the enemy. That's kind of a silly mechanic, I think. I guess it's partially because you have troops that are like nominally already in contact and fighting, but I'm going to try and hit these guys in the flank. If they're going to move these guys toward my line of 3 battalions here, I'm going to move these troops up on our left and try and flank them. Meanwhile, it would seem we outnumber their right flank heavily, so let's just go in and try and melee it immediately. Why are these guys retreating? Why are you so... oh, maybe that was a bad decision. Although, most of these enemy troops are not in large units. That may have been ill-advised. They do have arty up this way, so... Alright, this is not super tactical. We're just kind of pushing these troops on the right flank forward, but... meanwhile, we're kind of engaging the enemy. We tried to hit them in the flank, but they had enough units to sort of point their troops down at us. These guys routed? Artillery's back this way. I'm wondering if they're routing because they're getting hit by enemy guns. Or if it's just much better enemy troops, I'm not sure. guys are in trouble because they're so far out front, they're kind of exposed. Meanwhile, more of a standing fight here in the south. But yeah, we're losing a lot of men. And they're shooting into our boys while we're meleeing them. We did drive back one of their larger regiments, though. Or companies, and wiped out another. All right, get up there and reinforce. Meanwhile, pretty much just a standing fight going on here. Kind of interesting. Let's see if we can overwhelm their right flank. Be great if we could take some of their guns. But I gotta win the battle first. Hey guys, can you rally? Don't retreat off the map, please. Wait, are these... They're retreating toward the enemy? These redcoats? Okay. Just kind of a horde of troops engaging in a melee over here on the right. I don't know why. My troops are... They must be very green. They're also extremely tired. Their condition is terrible. Alright, we outnumber them 2-1, and they're meleeing me, so... At least this company and the British are not going to do well. How you're blocked. All right. That company is routed. I told you to shoot at these guys. Why are you friendly firing? Go take that other objective. Maybe that'll matter. But yeah, these troops are... My condition on my troops is horrible, which also is probably affecting our melee being absolutely terrible, despite many of these charges us being outnumbering the enemy. Okay, another charge there on the flank. Why are all my boys so tired? Like, these guys didn't even move in this battle, and yet they're exhausted. I don't understand that. I guess it's a benefit that some of them are retreating so easily because they're not taking too many casualties, but I don't understand. Is it because of the battle being fought on the strategic map for a little before we actually engaged? I'm not clear. Some of these troops' condition is okay. Or at least not zero. Maybe not okay, but not zero. Hey guys, why don't you rest for a bit back there? All right, so they're breaking my left flank. So we've taken 2 of the 3 objectives. I don't know if it matters if we take the 3rd. I'm not really sure if that would cause the battle to end and them to retreat or not. We can go for it. Push these guys up through the gap. I'm not sure they can actually get there. Flanked. I don't understand this. You're not really flanked. I just shot my own men here, I think. I get that they're in the way, but there needs to be, the AI needs to do a better job of being like, hey, there's troops here. Maybe we shouldn't shoot, because it does tell you you're blocked sometimes. Yeah, they're driving us off the map on the left side. 2 of our larger companies are gone here. I think these guys are going to retreat on contact. All right, so we hold all 3 objectives. Doesn't matter. It doesn't appear to, as best as I can tell. There's no countdown or anything to victory. So these guys are at 100. The other guys are at 0, so despite numbers, they won't last. We're gonna lose again. I'm just like George Washington. Really good at losing, but hopefully maintaining some of the army. All right, so we just drove off that 2 more enemy regiments which charged us. Please don't all retreat off the map, guys. We got a chance here. Not a good one, but a chance. I'm just dreaming of capturing enemy guns and then being able to form artillery companies with them. But I still think we're going to lose this fight in a narrow contest. Okay. I wonder if the white flag piece means they're going to retreat off the map. Like there's no ability to rout them or something, or rally them or something. I gotta think they're exhausted too, you know? Like they've been fighting all day also. And the strength icon here still doesn't represent that, like, we have no chance. The strength icon up here still actually might slightly favor us. Now, I don't know if that's just a raw count of manpower. In which case that may not matter as much, right? Like... Can I charge with my leader? No, I can't. It's like it'd be fun if we could. Do like a cavalry charge or something. All right, boys, try and get rested. You'll come back. We're engaging that enemy company and they're routing us from their volley fire from their supporting elements. So we destroyed one of those enemy companies. Okay, those boys rallied. All our boys are so tired and low on ammo. For the most part, anyway. Are they not exhausted? Alright, so we routed that company in the center. Maybe we'll destroy them from the map. Maybe not, but we at least routed them. Go charge those guns. I don't know how good enemy gunners are at melee in this game either. That's something else to consider. All right, we're charging their guns with troops that are completely exhausted. Looks like those troops have abandoned their guns. All right, so I think we took that unit. So we got some melee stuff going on here. One of our units is being driven off. And they probably all will be. Looks like the strength counter is now possibly working against us. Okay. Is there any chance for us to overwhelm these guys? They do outnumber me. I'm just hoping that like the artillerymen are using pikes or something, which maybe in a melee wouldn't be a bad thing for them. They have no more ammo, so the guns are kind of worthless. Oh, that melee didn't go in our favor. Trying to get these guys to rest so they can get back in the fight. But even if we were to win this, this feels like it would definitely be a Pyrrhic victory. So let's withdraw from this battle because we are routing and the strength counter is clearly gone against us. So I don't think there's much more we can do at this point. We could get our units utterly destroyed. That's an option. But I think we've done about as much as we can. So, end the battle. I guess we will pull back again. I wonder if this will trigger more British reinforcements. I'm assuming we destroyed some of their regiments utterly, while other ones will be able to reinforce. All right, the engineering department's done. That gives me more prestige. We lost that battle, which causes me to lose prestige. Our objective is to capture Boston. Good luck. Well, they would. It doesn't look like we destroyed any of their regiments. They still appear to have 5. And while they were distracted in the north too, which is unfortunate. Hey guys, where are you retreating to? Maybe we they have 400 reinforcements coming in. It's going to be like, maybe we bloodied them enough to give them pause from advancing further, but okay, so Portsmouth has fallen. Leicester was lost up here. I'm not going to try and go engage 5 British warships. So maybe those guys can reinforce. They're outnumbered 2-1 by the garrison at Hartford. Not Hartford, at Providence. Looks like these 2 regiments are pulling back to Hartford, which we are supposed to build. What are we supposed to build there? A recruiting house? So this is where you get a little bit told worry. So now that we've built the engineering department, you can actually build buildings here. So you can see Hartford. Currently, if we click on Hartford, it has 1 building, a town hall, which increases the loyalty of the city every week. You can see it's got 4.2 construction points. It's got some ammo in storage, some provision in storage. And you can, in theory, you might be able to raise units here, although we're past our stack limit at the moment based on current tech. That being said, if we go to Hartford here and we go ahead and click this slot, you can see there's multiple building houses open. If we do a recruiting house, it increases the amount of recruits generated in Hartford. There's no enemy prisoners here. There's 3,800 slaves, 0 recruits. 459 of them were sent away, 20,000 workforce. Recruiting house will increase recruits by 50%. Carpenter shop increases material production. Stables horse production. Schoolhouse officers. Armory increases storage. Church increases loyalty. So all those kind of things. But our objective is a recruiting house, so we're going to do that. Newport already has a docks and it has a town hall. In theory, we could build something here also. The region's already 99% loyal, so I don't know that we'd do anything there. Officers aren't a problem. I don't have enough men. Ammo storage isn't a problem. Ammo production might be, but storage is not. And you get reduced production because the capital of the province is under British control, the capital being Providence. So I guess recruiting house, like the more we can get more recruits, the better. Meanwhile, we can go back to the HQ and assign new projects. So Matthew Butcher's done his job. We've unlocked the chief engineer spot, so we can go ahead and assign someone to that position. It looks like the most qualified option would be Samson Byrne. I'm assuming these highlighted attributes are the ones that matter. So you can see he's got 27 willpower and 23 intelligence. Actually, Richardson would be clearly the best, so we'll put him in charge of the engineering department. Engineering department now has actual things they can unlock, so you can see there's a tech tree here. but the only one we can start with is Engineers of the Revolution, so we'll do that. That's going to take 30 days, and now Matthew Butcher, the Commander-in-Chief, has a additional project tree option also, so we could do Army Innovation, which unlocks barracks. We could do, which would then allow us to start building infantry units rather than just being dependent on units being spawned in for us. But I think what we're actually going to do is we're going to go ahead and do the artillery department, so then we can start building artillery units. That'll take 10 days. And that'll also open up another HQ, which can then do its own research. So I think opening up these other elements in the HQ is the most important thing to do. We can kind of go from there. So you've seen us fight and lose 2 battles. You've seen us start to engage with some of the mechanics that are a little bit more Total War-y. And that's where we're at right now. It is May 5th, 1775. We have lost every battle except for Concord. And we find ourselves struggling to deal with the British thrust against us. We hold effectively the southern coast here, Newport and Hartford. The map will expand later, but right now we hold sort of the southern plains. And we pray that the British don't push more troops against us, because we need to get stronger before we fight more. We manage production and construction management, but we'll do that another time. We've been going for almost an hour here. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode of Ultimate General American Revolution up. The game is available in early access directly through GameLab's website. Link in the description if you're interested in that. I don't have any details on specs, system requirements, anything like that. I'd reach out to them in their Discord if you have questions about that. The game will eventually come to Steam, and it's interesting. Like, it's challenging right now. A lot of the balance stuff is not really fully in yet. Again, it's a very early access. It's almost like an alpha build in some regards. But I'm enjoying myself so far. I would like more room to maneuver on the battlefield rather than just like, hey, you're already in contact every time. I think it removes a little bit of the dynamism from the battle if it's just like, hey, the campaign map positioning influences the battle map positioning, which is cool to some extent, but it does have drawbacks. So anyway, though, guys, that's going to do it for tonight or today. I hope you did enjoy this episode. Please let me know your thoughts below. And until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying, as always, I'm out. Bye-bye.